Hi, everybody. Wow, what a day so far, right? Nothing. It's weird. It's weird when a day starts out and nothing happens. There's just no news today. There's nothing. It's like we woke up and then there was a void and then we started streaming. Nothing happened. Unbelievable. What's this? Before we start, I have a special announcement. The High Wario, Man Spider, Sentinel, Mr. L, Dragoon, Disney Watcher, Blaze Henry, Gorilla, TL, hey Till, and Ronan, what's happening? Hopefully everybody's feeling well. Sorry, hold on, zipping myself up here. The big news today, Moon Knight trailer, right? No, I actually haven't watched the Moon Knight trailer. Blaze has a special announcement to make. I'm waiting for Blaze's special announcement here. But hi, hello. Hopefully everybody is feeling well and doing well on this bizarre Tuesday. We got some weird news today. It was kind of busy. You know what's funny? We were talking yesterday about the Silver Lining and how that's the Friday show. It's a bit more structured, and I worry that it's redundant. Because we talk about news as we go. This is actually the kind of day that I'm happy that the Silver Lining is going to be there, because this will we're going to talk a little bit about what was announced today, and then it'll give a couple of days of clarity. And then, so when we'll talk more in depth about it all on Friday, but by then, hopefully we'll have some more news as to what is going on. We'll have some more information. So I am kind of happy that we do have the Silver Lining for that, but we are definitely going to talk about some news today. Today, first Kingdom Hearts cloud demos, which only frustrates me. And then Microsoft buying ActBlizz. This day is just on a sprint. That's not even all of it, right? Apparently, the Moon Knight trailer came out. This thing about the Weird Al movie, which is fantastic. Hold on. I like to announce that I'm buying an Uncle Silver license for 70 billion pennies. Hold on. Now I need to see what's 70 billion pennies, because If I'm seeing some of that money, I'd be happy for that. Calculator. What? Calculator. 70 billion? Wait. What is that? What is that? 700 million? Is that $700 million? What's that? What's that in dollars? I'll take it. No, you said, wait, 70 billion pennies. No, you moved the decimal point over twice. That would be $700 million. Yeah. I guess we know what we're talking about today. Moon Knight trailer. Kingdom Hearts, all of the games except for 2 of the titles could totally fit on the Switch. I mean, they can all fit on the Switch. Let's be honest here. You have to watch. I have to watch the Moon Knight trailer. You know what I have to watch? Do not let me forget this. I have to watch the what? Okay, I think it was Lilac that linked it to me before. It was the Digimon World trailer 1 or something. That was linked to me yesterday. I forgot to watch it at the end of the stream, so I do want to watch that today. I'm so happy Banjo will have company in the IP dungeon. I'm sure Crash and Spyro are great roommates. Long time no see. I see you change your layout. Yes, I did. Blue Wild. Well, I turned my setup around a while ago. I just, I got the lights and everything now. So, but yeah, I did that a while ago. Man, just goes to show how long it's been since you've been here. But welcome. I'm good on Marvel for now. I saw No Way Home. I don't need to see anything else for a while. No Way Home was spectacular, man. Which is all pun intended, talking about a Spider-Man movie, but that movie was spectacular. $700 million. I mean, Blaze, I'll sell. Let me tell you something, Blaze. I'll sell for significantly less. I know that's bad business, but if you want to buy the Uncle Silver license, $7 million, and you're good to go. Welcome to the Blaze Henry family. Silver Lining fans, is all part of our collaboration with our sister company, Microsoft, to revive Mixer. Oh, my God. I thought you were going to revive MySpace. Still haven't seen. Yeah, no spoilers on Spider-Man. Actually, Ronan, I will spoil one thing about Spider-Man. It was an incredible movie and arguably the best Spider-Man movie out of all of them. So that's a spoiler. Maybe Doctor Strange, but that's a big maybe. We have a price. Time to buy the Uncle Silver Empire. Yeah, we're somber. We're just throwing around the word empire there, all willy nilly, huh? But yeah, so we got some news today. Hold on. Let's talk about the small news first. Let's talk about smaller news, right? Okay, Moon Knight trailer. I haven't watched it, but Moon Knight trailer's out. So go watch that. Weird Al announced that he's making a movie, which I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of biopic on his life. I'm not really sure. Is it okay? Is it biopic? As in, it is biographical, or is it biopic, which means it's a film pick about the life of someone? Is it bio? It's biopic, right? Okay, it's a biopic. All right, I always said biopic. So I'm assuming it's going to be a biopic. It says starring Daniel Radcliffe. This is what I have seen. Daniel Radcliffe is going to play Weird Al Yankovic in a movie. I am like, that's awesome to me. That is incredible. Weird Al is a guy that I don't know a lot about. I've never really dove into Weird Al's life. He was always he always seemed like a really fun, quirky person. Obviously, we know him from if you're a younger, let me ask the younger people here. What do you know do you even know who Weird Al is? And if so, what do you know him from? See, the older ones of us, we know him as a parody musician. This is somebody who was making parody songs back when these songs first came out. So I don't know if he still does that. I don't know if that's something that he's really known for. Like in the younger crowd, I would say. That's what we all knew him as. I knew him from World of Warcraft's hardware store. I've known him through references from TRG. I don't know him. I just associate his name with accordions. That's very interesting. He does just not nearly as much lately. I only know he's totally unique, classic hit, Canadian idiot. So he has a lot of songs like that, Mr. L. If you dive into his library, he's got a ton of songs that are like that. He's I'd argue that some of the more popular ones were Amish Paradise. He had one called Eat It, which was about the song. It was to the song Beat It by Michael Jackson. I feel like that's I feel like that one's more if you were there. But I think stuff like Amish Paradise sort of transcended that. White and Nerdy was him. He did a song in the Transformers. I love his eBay. I don't know if I heard the eBay song. He did a song and I think this was an original song in the Transformers movie from '86. Dare to Be Stupid. Fantastic song. Actually, fantastic song. Very reminiscent of Dare to Be Stupid is reminiscent of something like Devo or was it Men with Hats? Is that the band that I'm thinking of? You know what I mean? This more fun sort of music. It's Devo, yeah. It's more reminiscent of that kind of music. Now that's the music side. That's the music side. Also, yeah, he is like an accordion player. He is to me. And I don't see it. He also voiced Wreck-Gar in that movie, in the Transformers animated movie. That he was the voice of that character. not, and I'm not saying this in an insulting way. I'm saying this in a descriptive way. Weird Al always embodied to me the idea of the quintessential nerd. He was the nerdy looking guy. I think you said Debo. He was the nerdy looking guy. He looked like what we grew up being told was the outcast nerd at school. He played the accordion. His man, like everything about him, he was like the quintessential nerd character. But he's one of the first people I had ever seen. And maybe there were more. I mean, there were probably more before that. But he was one of the people that embraced that and sold that as his not character, but as who he was. And he was proud of it. He like white and nerdy. Like he was nerdy and proud. He was one of my first experiences with nerdy and proud. And I always liked it. I always appreciated him for that. I never really dove into his life though. I never explored. I'm not even sure what his real name is. I'm assuming his name is Al Yankovic, but I don't know. That sounds like a stage name, so I have no idea. I don't know if that's his real name or not. I don't know anything about his life. I don't know where he is, nationality, I don't know any of that. Albert Yankovic, that is his actual name. He seems like the kind of person. Is that his actual name? Like, he seems like the kind of person who wouldn't change his name, because if the whole point is he's nerdy and proud, he seems like he's going to be proud of whoever and whatever he is. He doesn't seem like the type who would change his name. So I actually really do believe that would be his name. You're saying that is his name. If he was born in the 90s, he'd be a YouTube star right now. I believe that if he focused more on YouTube, he'd be a YouTube star right now, as he is. As he is right now, if he was making more music more often about the things that are going on, being who he is, I think he would still be and he's still a celebrity, right? He's still people still know who he is. Like, he's still a celebrity online and in IRL, but there's a difference between, you know what I mean? When we say YouTube star versus celebrity, we usually think of two different things. He would be a massive YouTube star if he had focused, especially when YouTube started. Does he have any albums? Ronan, I'll let you dive into that, because he has a ton of albums. From what I understand, he's got a bunch of albums. So I would recommend that you dive into some of those. Kind of is a YouTube star. That's how he markets any of his new stuff. Yeah, it's a ton of albums. No, Heath, we're talking about this first. We're gonna talk about that. We already touched on it, but we're gonna talk about it. I wanted to talk about this first, because I think that this is going to be the smaller news. One thing I like about Weird Al, one thing that I really, really like about Weird Al, is I have always argued about the what am I looking for here? About the quality of what's the news about Weird Al? He's making a movie, and Daniel Radcliffe is going to be playing him in the movie. I have always praised the quality of infallibility. When you hear celebrities doing bad things, when you find out that a celebrity did this bad thing or that bad thing, I'd argue that most of the time we go, oh my God, that's horrible. I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they would do something like that. That's incredible. I should have expected it because they're this person, but wow, unbelievable. There are a handful of celebrities, I would say, that if somebody was to accuse them of something, they have such an air of infallibility around them that the majority of people would say, I am going to need some really solid proof that happened, because there is nothing in that person's history to say that would happen. If Robert Downey Jr., if it came out that Robert Downey Jr. had a drug addiction problem, most people who are familiar with Robert Downey Jr.'s history would say, oh, that sucks that happened, that he relapsed. Because he had a big problem with that a long time ago. You don't want it to happen, but you would expect, no, I'm just saying. Yeah, you'd say again. If somebody said Tom Hanks made an inappropriate pass at someone, at a woman or something, or whoever, or something, at a person, I would argue that a lot of people would say, okay, I'm going to need a lot of details on that because this is Tom Hanks we're talking about. Yeah, like Tom Hanks would, if somebody was to say, hey, Tom Hanks is supporting NFTs, I'm going to need to hear that out of Tom Hanks' mouth. I'm going to need to hear him in person, not a deep fake, right? I'm going to need proof that it's not a deep fake. I'm going to need to hear him say, I think that these NFTs are a good idea. That is absolutely true. We can never lose Keanu Reeves. Keanu's another one. Keanu's one that if you were to tell me something horrible about Keanu Reeves, I would question where your information was. Before I would say, man, that sucks if it's true, I would say, I'm going to need proof that is anything close to the truth. If someone says Tom Hanks violated someone, so much doubt will be cast on the person who reported the news. I think they're confusing Tom Hanks with his son. If Tom Hanks ever turns out to be a jerk, I might actually collapse. That is to me a quality of infallibility developed over literally decades of, for what we have seen, being a genuinely good person. You don't buy that kind of infallibility. You earn that over decades of being a decent person. Weird Al is somebody who, if you were to come up and tell me and say there's a news story that Weird Al did something horrible, I would argue anything. Like any horrible thing that you said Weird Al did, I would need some rock solid proof that he has done something like that. I would need footage. I would need sworn testimonials. Like, I would need everything for you to convince me that Weird Al Yankovic did something bad. That to me is a great quality. I think that is a fantastic quality. That is a quality that I strive to have myself. I strive to have. I try to be as upfront with you guys as I can about the things that I do and what I'm all about. I would hope that over years and years and years, down the line, if there was ever a story that I did something, I would hope that your first instinct is, I'm going to need proof of that. Because that tells me that I have that air of infallibility around me, which is something I would feel like I would want to earn. That's what I want to earn. That's what I want to earn. If I want to earn anything from anybody, if I want people to treat me a certain way, if I'm looking for, respect or admiration or anything, I would say that the only thing I would ever want from people is for them to know that deep down, I am not a horrible person. And if anything horrible ever comes out, the first instinct would be, I need proof. I need solid proof. I would need hard proof if someone said Keanu Reeves did something terrible. Yeah, I would need video, I would need video footage, and I would need like a video forensics person to tell me that the video is real. Because even then, if I had a video, I'd be like, I don't know, those deep fakes are out there. Weird Al stole from an orphanage while kicking puppies in the gut. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna ask you, what did the orphanage do wrong? And maybe the puppies had it coming. That's what I'm going to say. But Greg, did you recommend Ender Lily? Okay, Man Spider. Okay, maybe a little bit of fallibility, right? Hold on. For me, I think Charles Martinet is that sort of person who has like a clean slate. I just don't know a lot about him. Worst thing he's done with piss off Coolio by making a parody of Gangster's Paradise, and even then, they've since patched that up years ago. And that's more like Coolio's fault, right? Because you can't, like that. That is a Weird Al has made a lot of funny videos about a lot of people's songs. And if Coolio's mad about anything, it's that Amish Paradise was almost, if not as popular, if not more popular than Gangster's Paradise. You can always beat the allegations with me. Only rarely do you get cases like Jimmy Seville. I'm not familiar with Jimmy Seville. Yeah, I did recommend Ender Lilies, so I do apologize for that. I rank banana as a D fruit. Well, that's because it is. How about that? The only bad things I've heard from good celebrities is be a part of the Church of Scientology, but I've never actively seen them support it. The puppies attacked him first. And this is what is it? And this is something that sounds before I was alive. Weird Al likes oh my god, Weird Al likes Ender Lilies. Now what? I mean, I don't know. Weird Al typically gets permission from the original creators before making parody songs. Al does ask the original artist for permission to make parodies, but he 100% doesn't need to. Yeah, he's probably just being nice. He's probably just being like, I want to make a parody song about that. Is that all right? Yeah. Oh, okay, great. No. I probably won't do it. There's a lot of other stuff to make parodies about. Jimmy Seville was a UK TV personality, and he was. Oh, okay. Oh no. I'm not gonna dive into that any further. I'm just gonna say I assume I know what you're talking about. But yeah, so that's I'm kind of excited for that. I'm kind of excited to see what that turns into. You wanna know how cool Weird Al is? Michael Jackson explicitly gave him song licenses to have made his parodies because he loved the idea so much. It's not even Weird Al being nice. Mad TV used to reach out constantly to ask for permission to parody a person. Oh, okay, so they did it too. The thing with Amish Paradise was that he did ask, and then apparently Coolio's manager said it was okay, but he never got the okay from Coolio himself, which is what bothered him for so long. Oh. I have a feeling for many musicians being parodied. Yeah, at this point, Marcos, it probably is a badge of honor. Like, if you have a song that's so popular that Weird Al makes a version of it, that would be my first instinct. If I made a hit song and I got word that Weird Al was going to make a parody of it, I'd be like, I made it. I'm on top of the world right now. I would tell people, like, if Weird Al contacted me and said, hey, my name is Albert Yankovic, right? Like, he'd be all friendly, like I didn't know who he was by Weird. Like, I would know Weird Al. If he called himself Albert Yankovic, I wouldn't know who the hell he was. If he said Weird Al, I'd be like, oh, okay, what's up? I heard your song. I think it's really funny. I think I can make a really funny parody song out of it. Oh, absolutely. No problem. I would immediately be on Twitter, and my first post would be, holy crap, I just spoke to Weird Al Yankovic, and he's making a parody song out of my song. That would be my first thing. Okay, Mr. L. Twitch streamer accused of wrongfully recommending Ender Lilies. It sounds like a hard drive. Oh my god, it does, TL. Wow. Weird Al probably assumed, like many, that the manager spoke for him. Yeah. I'd wonder how many times before that he never spoke to the artist. He spoke to the manager, and it was always fine. My name is Weird Al. I'm your uncle and a Nigerian prince, and would like to transfer $10 million into your bank account. It'd be like, and you know what? I'd be like, ha, joke's on you. I don't really have a joke for that. But he already made a Star Wars song. Yeah, he did too. Parody Street. You know what's funny? I used to know, hey, lowercase. I used to know a guy in high school that he wrote parody songs. And it's a shame too, because I always thought that he would have like, he was funny. This was a funny guy. And I remember it's his best one. Like, he wrote a whole song about it too. And it was remember Method Man? METHOD, man. It was the Wu-Tang song. He wrote one called The Muffin Man. And I remember Muffin, to this day, I don't remember all the words to the song, but I remember Muffin Man. When I hear that beat, I sing Muffin man before I sing Method. I heard there was this is the problem. I heard there was a similar situation with Eminem. The problem was Eminem originally gave him the go-ahead, and by the time he changed his mind, it was too late to pull the parody. Don't forget Pro Jared. Turned. He wasn't a monster, just very stupid. Yeah, I mean, especially since around that time, the idea that managers spoke for their clients was a common practice. We learned later this was often abused by managers. Yeah, it really kind of was probably. But yeah, Weird Al movie. I'm excited. I'm curious to see what it is. I'm curious to learn a little bit more about his life. And the good thing is that Weird Al has made movies before, so I'm sure we're going to get a somewhat assuming that because he said he's making a movie. So if it is a biopic, we should probably get some fun stuff in addition to some real stories. That's one thing about biopics is you never really know because the stories probably filter down. If he's the one actually doing the movie, he's going to be the one on set to say, no, that's not how it happened. You know, so I feel like we would get a really true to form movie about him. So I think that's really cool. And the soundtrack is going to be crazy good. No, Man Spider. Daniel Radcliffe. I'm happy with Daniel Radcliffe. I like Daniel Radcliffe. I think Danny DeVito is a great A-list actor. We'd have Detective Pikachu too if Weird Al made a song for the first one. He asked Nirvana if he could parody "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and they said the premise was about how nobody could understand the lyrics, and they instantly gave him okay. He just comes off as such a great guy. Yeah, I remember that too. I remember that. That was a good song. Did he ever do I mean, how do you even parody this song? But at the same time, I'd love to hear him parody this song. How do you even parody "Loser" by Beck? But you know what I mean? Like the lyrics make no sense. So did he ever parody that song? Because that would be like, how do you even parody that song? You just sing the same lyrics. The song itself is like a parody. I just thought of Jim Carrey. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like Daniel Radcliffe more. He used "Loser" in one of his polka remixes. Okay, I'll have to look that up. I'll have to find out if he did "Loser" because that's a great song. That is a great song, by the way. "Loser" by Beck is a fantastic song. Love that song. What's the other? There's another Beck song that I really like. "New Pollution." "New Pollution," great Beck song. Parody it by turning it into a song about gamers. Have you seen Daniel Radcliffe in that scene from the Oregon Trail? No. Okay, I want to watch that show. I don't know what that show is on. That show, I've seen clips of it, and it looks hysterical. That show looks hysterical. The chorus of "Smells Like Teen Spirit" is random words in it anyway. Yeah, it's actual words. I used to know the word. What is it? It's hold on, I'm trying to think of "Smells Like Teen Spirit." No denial is a thing. Oh, come on! I used to know this too. I used to actually know this whole song. Oh no, I don't. I feel like if I know the first line is to smell Axe body spray. I feel like if I know the first line, I'd know the rest of it for the chorus. A couple episodes later aren't that good, but most of them are hilarious. When the light's out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now. Entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now. Entertain us. I'm a mulatto, a denial, a mosquito, my libido. Yeah. Yes. I got most of it, right? No, I got. Did I get that wrong? Greg, you're just proving your point. Proving his point. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of gibberish. It really is gibberish. It really is gibberish. It really is. Like, and it's like, I guess it's supposed to mean something. I don't know. Beck, I got all of it. Beck, loser, is gibberish. Like, I think it was confirmed that it's gibberish. Don't quote me on this because I feel like I've heard this secondhand, but what I've heard about the song "Loser" is that it was written with gibberish words because I looked it up. The words mean nothing. The "Loser" was written with gibberish words because what it was supposed to do is that the gibberish was supposed to go to a rhythm. So then they would send it to the musician, and then the musician would make music that went to the tune of the words. And then you're supposed to replace the words later with something that actually means something. It's basically so that the musician and the writer can work at the same time. But when the musician was done, they just sang the words that the gibberish words that they had, and they thought it was funny, so they left it. That's what my understanding of the "Loser" song was that it was written as gibberish, and when they got the music, they were just like, this is just kind of funny. Yeah, it has to do with like the syllable count, right? I summarized the Sonic Heroes demo track. Yeah, it's like the syllable count because the music is written to the beat depending on how many syllables are in the phrasing or in the lines. So they wrote the music with the gibberish and they just kept the gibberish. Because what is it? In the time of chimpanzees, I was a monkey. Butane in my veins and I'm out to cut the junkie with the plastic eyeballs. Spray paint the vegetables. It's crazy. Like, none of that made any sense, and I think I got that right. When you say Beck, you know what? I think of Futurama too, Heath. I actually do. Precursor to Splatoon music. I'd rather listen to "Loser" by Three Doors Down. Hey, I like that song. I heard them perform that song live. It's a great song. All right. This is the exact process that. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm not gonna play it now because I feel like I get in trouble. I don't know Beck. Kia, I would look up Beck. Hold on. What was this? This is the album that I mostly know. Beck obviously is the performer. Odelay is one of the better, like the earliest. I don't know if that's his first album, but that's a great album. Lots of really, really good songs on that album. Oh, Futurama is amazing. Greg Good singing. What's this? A music strike? Yeah, I don't think it's that good. All right. We got to talk about the other big news. The bigger news. Admittedly, there isn't a lot to talk about with this just because we don't know a lot yet. Microsoft is purchasing Activision Blizzard. First off, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Activision Blizzard has been under the microscope for a little while now because, as it turns out, they are a company filled with horrible people. There have been a lot of bad things going on behind the scenes in that company. Microsoft has a lot of work to do to fix that because they just bought a lot of bad blood. They really did. They bought a lot of issues. Hopefully, here's what I want to see out of them. Here's what I want to see out of them first and foremost. I want to see them make some moves. I want to see them shuffle some things around. Bobby's got to go. Unfortunately, he's going to go with a big paycheck. So, I mean, there's just nothing we can do about that. I wish there was, but it really sucks. But he's going to go. So I think that's definitely going to happen. More than anything, I want Microsoft within the next week to put out a release that says we are aware of a lot of the, obviously not word for word, but we are aware of the controversy that was going on involving people behind the scenes at Activision Blizzard. Our first order of business is to sort that out. That's what I want them. I want them to acknowledge that they are aware that there's a lot of crap that went on behind the scenes and that is going on behind the scenes, and that is their first order of business to fix it. Because right now, it's going to look like they bought these problems and they don't care. And Microsoft could be, I mean, they're gigantic, right? And people are going to focus more on the games, but it would be nice for them to right up front say, we are aware that these things were going on behind the scenes. We need to restructure. Or just, and again, not word for word from that, but if Microsoft was to come out and say, over the next few months, we are going to be restructuring the leadership and organizations behind in Activision Blizzard's leadership. That would be enough for me to say, all right, they know where things need to be fixed first, and that's what they're going after first. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to hear out of them. Yeah, a statement. A statement to say, we're going to be restructuring, because that tells me they know what needs work first. They already said they aren't removing any of the current upper management until at least 2023 when it's complete. Yeah, so they're working on the deal. They're working on the deal. So we're probably not going to see anything project-wise from them for a little while. That's another big thing, is that I don't think we're going to see anything project-wise for a little while. We're not going to see anything being pulled off of other stores. We're not going to see games all of a sudden becoming Xbox exclusive, Game Pass exclusive. I think we've got a little while before we see anything like that. So the landscape isn't changing yet. The landscape is not changing yet. I like to think Microsoft has some goodwill lately, so I have faith they'll do it right. Straight up say we're going to clean up this company. In short, yes, I think that's what they're selling. They were otherwise a very profitable company. I think the shareholders want to wash their hands of it. I'm gonna have to see this and how it goes down. I'd be very hypocritical of Spencer's side, given he called them out and not do anything when being under their umbrella. I like to think Microsoft has some good. Oh yeah. Again, this is rather extreme, but Activision wasn't gonna fix themselves, judging by. Yeah, and that's the thing. Can we get Hank Hill to kick out Bobby? Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, Activision, and that's a good point, Sondox, is that all of this stuff that we want Activision Blizzard to fix, they were not going to fix it. They were not. Bobby wasn't going to leave. They were not going to push him out. They were not going to fix these problems. Now you have a parent company or owner company that can say, and they're big, and they're gonna they have the ability to step in and say, all right, you're out. No, we're not going to tolerate this. We're not going to be okay with this. So this is a good opportunity for Activision Blizzard to get their crap together. I saw a great point. For all of Xbox's, Activision should be better. We won't support this practice. We know they're full of crap because they were buying them and actively knew about these issues. By the way, but played the part of caring. I would disagree. Thank you, Andrew, and welcome. I would disagree, Dragoon, because I would say that could be read as secretly they were going to fix it, and ahead of time they were letting people know we're not going to put up with that crap. You know what I mean? Like they were laying the foundation so that when this happened, when the news came out, everybody would say Microsoft has been saying they're not going to put up with that crap. Let's see what they do. I would not be I could see that statement as Activision should be better. We won't support this practice, as we're buying the company, and when we buy the company, we don't support this. We're not putting up with that crap. I would argue that could be taken a good way. Do you think future Activision titles could be Xbox exclusive? I want to address that. But hold on. You hear the 28th Maximus tournament? I did for Pokemon Legends Arceus. Which that's a whole separate discussion there. Activision wasn't going to fix themselves because they have been found to still be hiding stuff that's happened. Yeah. Microsoft is in a good relationship with Nintendo right now, so I think a couple of stuff would be on Nintendo's hardware. We won't know for sure until 2023. On their own, they weren't going to change because of all the people in ActBlizz. Kotick was just one in charge. At least half the staff was filled with that toxicity. I want to believe, but also feel that's giving them a bit too much credit. We know so. And Dragoon, I've always said before, you're exactly right. We know so little. So it's hard to assume one way or the other. It's tough to assume that they're going to automatically be bad when the argument is we don't have any evidence. We just don't know, but we also just don't know. They could be ready to clean house. They could be ready. I mean, they could okay. They could be saying, and I'm being hopeful. But again, the bottom line is we just don't know. They could be saying we're not getting rid of the management right now. They could be saying that because they can't afford that void yet. If the deal's not done, if Activision leadership leaves, the company struggles, and then it becomes more difficult to manage that. You know what I mean? Like, if the management all leaves right now, they have a chance to start sinking the ship before Microsoft has a chance to buy it. Microsoft could be full of crap right now. Microsoft could be telling them, oh, no, we're not getting rid of you guys. We're going to get rid of Bobby, but we're not going to get rid of you guys. Don't worry. We're going to turn things around. It's going to be new. And day one, they could step in and say, you are all gone. What did we say a year ago? We do not tolerate that kind of behavior. We don't tolerate this toxic environment. You're all gone. We just needed you here to manage the ship until we took over. They easily could do that. It's no different, and a lot of people will say might agree with this. It's no different than if you're at a job and the plan is to fire a manager. Normally, they will pick the new manager and start training them first. You have to gear them up, and then when you fire that manager, someone is ready to step into that position. You can't go, a company can't go into a store and fire the store manager without any sort of replacement. If Microsoft is planning on getting rid of all of these toxic people, their first move, the smart first move for them is to make sure that they've got replacements in check and make sure that the deal is done. I think that no matter what they say, within a year, I think you see a lot of the toxic people leave. I think you see them go. Whether you see them get straight up fired or whether all of a sudden they resign. They're going to resign and they're going to take payouts. And that's going to, and I can tell you right now, that's going to be behind the scenes, Microsoft telling them, leave or you're fired. Take the payout that we're going to give you or we'll fire you and you'll get less money. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. Yeah, getting a new manager isn't a very simple thing to replace. Exactly. So you don't fire right off the bat. You make sure that that's in place first. Lilac, rating with a party of one. Welcome, Lilac. Lilac, don't let me forget. I gotta watch that Digimon video. I forgot to watch that yesterday. Hang on, let me go back up here. I don't think any future project will be Xbox exclusive. We're gonna come around to that. We're gonna come around because I do want to talk about that too. As harsh as it may sound, while the ramifications for such a precedent are really major, we can worry about those later. Right now, the main focus is just getting the whole company restructured so that the workplace doesn't turn even more toxic. Oh, excuse me. This Activision Blizzard issue could sink the whole company without Microsoft. Yeah, it could. And here's Microsoft to turn them into something amazing. Hopefully. We'll have to wait and see what Microsoft will do once they take the decisions. For all we know, they could keep the management but put them under regulations that improve the environment. They could also do a complete change of staff. It all boils down to that something needs to be made to improve the environment. Yeah, I mean, they could say we're keeping the management. And then they keep the management and they put them on BS projects that don't do anything. They're literally going to put them in radar stations in Alaska, and they're not going to be doing anything. They even go for baseline worker too. Yeah, sometimes management gets the workers themselves to train their replacement. Yeah, that's a horrifying thing, Hero, and it's actually true. You want to bet BRB? I'm going to go to Walmart and fire the manager. They need to finish the payments before any changes can be acted on. Yeah, absolutely. To be fair, Bethesda has a lot of issues when they bought, not severe, thankfully, and when they got bought and Microsoft didn't change anything. Just have I heard some part as of right now. They have said Bobby will stay on up to and past the buyout, and his contract it can't just access. Yeah, that's what we were saying. Like unfortunately, like Bobby's gonna go, but he's gonna make a big payout out of it. Unfortunately, there's just nothing we can really do. Hopefully, he's gonna have hundreds of millions of dollars. Hopefully, he chokes in his caviar or something. Metaphorically. But I do agree that I would rather hope for what happens. I'm back, and Tor Wrong handed me the keys. Oh. Now the question was, do I think games will be Xbox exclusive? No. Okay. Give me the big franchises. Give me the big franchises here. So what do we got? We got Call of Duty. Absolutely not. No way does Call of Duty go. No way does Warzone specifically go exclusive. Call of Duty games like stuff like Vanguard and stuff. I don't think so. I think Call of Duty is a big name. All right, I said the same for Bethesda, and they won't have to spawn on that. Crash and Spyro, I could see theoretically being exclusive. I could see that. I don't think it's going to happen, but I could see that. Yeah, Call of Duty, absolutely not. Overwatch is them, right? Overwatch is them. No, I don't think Overwatch goes exclusive. I think there's a big enough I think that it helps that there's a big enough tournament scene with Overwatch that you don't see exclusives with that. Starcraft and Warcraft. Okay. Starcraft and Warcraft are interesting. These are interesting. World of Warcraft specifically. WoW. No, I think WoW stays on its own. See, okay. Here's the issue. Here's the thing that's clogging the issue here. Game Pass clogs the issue because Game Pass is a digital storefront on PC and potentially later on Switch. Who knows? So it's not going to be console. This is what clogs the issue here, is that Microsoft is going to own them, but they're not going to be on console. Starcraft and Warcraft don't come to console. I don't think, obviously WoW doesn't come to console. I don't see them coming to the console. They're going to stay online. They're going to be PC games only. You just, maybe you have to get them through Game Pass. I don't know. Or the Microsoft Store. That's what it is, right? The Game Pass is a service, and then the Microsoft Store is something else. I forget exactly how it works. Hopefully Microsoft kills Warcraft 3 Reforged and reinstates the original. Microsoft only brought ActBlizz because they can't get the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14 on Xbox. My reasoning for Crash and Spyro not being exclusive is the fact that MS have geared the more family-friendly stuff such as Minecraft and Ori and stuff like that do go to other platforms. And Sondox, I wanted to circle. I'm kind of all over the place. This is why I like the Silver Lining, because we can be a little bit more structured and I have time to write certain things down. I could see Crash and Spyro being Xbox exclusive because Game Pass is on PC. So exclusive doesn't mean what it used to mean. It used to mean if you were PlayStation exclusive, you had to buy a PlayStation. If you were Nintendo exclusive, you had to buy a Nintendo. If you were Xbox exclusive, you had to buy an Xbox. Now, you don't. Now, if you're Xbox, if you're Microsoft, you can be exclusive to the console, but still sell on PC. Still go, so people can still have access to the games without an Xbox. So the PC is part of the Xbox brand. No, but it's not, though. It's not, because I don't need to interact with Microsoft to buy a PC game. I can go to Steam. I can go to the Epic Game Store. I can still play PC games and never interact with Microsoft. You see what I mean? That's what I mean. With Xbox, I should say. That's what I mean. So you can be console exclusive, as in you're only on the Xbox Series XS. But if you're on Game Pass, you're still owned by Xbox, but you're on PC. And everybody has a PC. I mean, hopefully you all have a PC. Yeah, that's why. And Somber, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying, is that we used to say exclusive, and what that meant was if you were exclusive to a system, you had to have that system. Even PC games. Even back in the old days, for a lot of us older gamers, you know, sort of, I guess 360 is around, Xbox 360 around the time when it started to change. But like PS2 and OG Xbox and before all of that, if you were exclusive to Nintendo, Microsoft, Xbox, Sony PlayStation, or PC. There were tons and tons and tons of PC games that were never, ever, ever on consoles. So you had 4 exclusive ranges right there. Nowadays, most of us have a PC. I'm all over the place like Ender Lilies. Nowadays, most of us have a PC. So when you talk about console exclusives, that's mostly what you're talking about. You're talking about a game that is on a console and not on PC. Console exclusives are irrelevant if you have a semi-decent gaming PC. For the most part, they're irrelevant. There are only, other than Nintendo, there are only a handful of franchises that are completely exclusive to and locked into a console. Like I said, other than Nintendo. So if Crash and Spyro went Microsoft exclusive, Xbox exclusive, all that means is that on the console, you'd have to get it on an Xbox Series X. On PC, you're not exclusive to anything. You just go to the different store. It's not like you have to run out and buy another $500 computer to access the Xbox store. You just go to that website and you buy that version of the game. Not all Xbox games are on PC are available outside the Xbox app, meaning they're not available to Steam or Epic. Yeah, just the Xbox app, but the Xbox app is on PC, right? That's what I'm talking like on But okay, not all Xbox games on PC are available outside the Xbox app, but the Xbox app I can access on PC, right? Can I just go to the Xbox store and make an account and have access to Xbox games, Xbox PC games on my computer? I don't need a console in order to access their online store, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't get Banjo on PC. Like, I guess I'm confused with I'm not a Microsoft guy, so I'm confused with their digital purchasing, digital storefronts, and how that works exactly with them. Meanwhile, Banjo is at the bar saving 2 seats for Crash and Spyro. I also think part of the worry is not a lot of time passed since Bethesda buyout, and we've yet to see any results of that. Yeah, I mean, this is all speculation at this point. We're just speculating a lot. Oh, what did Lilac say here? While I'm still salty about Bethesda exclusivity, I don't see ActBlizz games being MS only. They bought Bethesda for $7.5 billion. Phil even said they can recoup that without PlayStation. Meanwhile, this buyout is $70 billion plus $350 million on Bobby. Plus, COD generates more money than the whole of Bethesda on PlayStation alone. So it would be financially dumb to lock out that player base. Because while some would get Xbox, a lot would just say screw it and to a PC storefront. I just mean the PC is more segmented now than consoles in terms of storefront. No, yeah, Blaze, I get that it's more segmented in terms of storefront, but I can access every storefront from my PC. That's my point, is that I don't need to. What my point about console exclusivity, what it used to mean was that if I had a PlayStation and wanted to access Nintendo games, I had to run out and buy a Nintendo console and buy those games. With a PC, having multiple storefronts, all it means is that I just have to go to a different storefront. I went back to the Epic Game Store a couple weeks ago because they were giving away the 3 Tomb Raider games. I didn't pay a penny for them. And I downloaded all 3 Tomb Raider games. All it required me to do was go to a different website. So it's not really like it's exclusive to their company, but as a gamer, as somebody who consumes video game media, I don't have to go out and buy different hardware. I just go to a different website and I download the game and I buy the game. So it's not really exclusive. You know what I mean? And again, it used to be maybe that was more exclusive back in the day when not everybody had a semi-decent gaming computer. But I'd argue that most of us have a computer that we can game on in some way. Right? Anybody here running 2 cores and 2 gigs of RAM? I mean, maybe. But most of us, I'd say, have something that is capable of playing at least a couple of games. Candy Crush. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I forgot that. I didn't know that was like also 10, not 10 cent. That they had. What the heck is the company? It's not Zynga, is it? I think this confusion is also part of Microsoft's issue. Again, I do not have a PC and have no intent. You don't have a PC? You don't have a computer, like a laptop or something? And I'm not being. Don't do the thing where it's like I don't have a PC. I have a Mac. Like what? Right? I have an Apple. Like a computer. I have a GTX 1650 in my laptop. King is the one. There we go. Most games expect at least 8 gigs of RAM. No, and AGM, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're running a 2-core CPU and 2 gigs of RAM, then yes, you could easily say, I don't have a computer capable of gaming. But I think is anybody here running a computer that is less than 8 gigs of RAM? That's what AGM. That's exactly my point. Is that I would argue that not a lot of people are running systems that can't handle some games. No form of computer. That's crazy. That's wild, Heath. That's pretty incredible. Hats off to you, because computers they're great, but they're kind of a pain in the ass too. I'm using a phone, so I am technically using a computer. Mac isn't the same as PC. A lot of games are properly set for Mac to run. Phil's also stated he hates the idea of console exclusives as it's going against what gaming is about, but he will make them Microsoft exclusive like he has Bethesda, so you can still get them on PC, but via the Microsoft. Yeah, they all want you to go to their store. They want you to go to their store, and that's just how it is. Phil is adamantly against NFTs in gaming, and he's also anti-exploitive system. I'll be honest with you, Phil's like a meme. But I think I kind of like the guy. He seems like a gamer. Is that weird? Like, I don't know anything about him, so I'm not really gonna say that he's a stand-up guy. But on the surface, he seems like a gamer. He seems like he does really kind of seem like one of us, right? What I want to see is how Steam Deck is going to eat into xCloud. That's interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I have no computer, only phone, getting one soon. Phil is at least better than most company heads. Yeah, he does. He seems like he seems like a gamer. He seems like somebody who's like, we love Reggie. We love Reggie Fils-Aimé. Reggie Fils-Aimé seemed like a really decent person. He seemed like somebody that if I were meeting him walking down the street, I'd want to give him a high five. But really, Reggie didn't seem like a gamer. Reggie seemed like he played a lot of games growing up, and then he got into business, and then he sort of moved away from actual gaming, and then every once in a while he plays a little something. Phil seems like at the end of the day, he turns on his Xbox and he plays Halo. Dom, as Dom would say, he's family. Phil seems like a nice dude, but at the end of the day, the face of the company may not exactly be able to speak for the... Yeah, exactly. So it's nice to hear Phil say certain things, but I don't know that it's actually going to happen that way. We love Reggie, but I don't think he's played many of the games he stated. That's why I don't want to game on a PC. The setup is a pain, and I own a Series X, PS5, and Switch, so I don't really have any reason to game on a PC. Yeah, and Heath, you're in a good spot. You have the ability to do that, to avoid PC gaming. I don't really PC game. I've said before, I don't like being tethered to my computer when I'm playing games, so I typically don't really PC game very often. It's why my graphics card is so weak. I want a better graphics card now because now I'm getting more into VR, and now I need to have a better setup for my computer. All I really need is a better graphics card. I could probably do with a better CPU and motherboard and maybe more RAM. If you don't want to game on PC, would you game on a Steam Deck? Probably not. Blaze. The reason being, I have a Switch. And I don't play my Switch in handheld mode. I play it portable mode. I take it to work and I set it up, and then I bring a controller with me. I don't play it in handheld mode. So a Steam Deck doesn't really appeal to me. What I'd be more likely to do if I had Steam Deck money, I'd be more likely to build a small gaming PC and hook it to my television. And that way, if I want to play PC games exclusive, I would be able to do it on my TV. That would probably be more up my alley than a Steam Deck. I have a GTX 1650. It's cheap, but it works wonders. Yeah, I have a 980. I have a GTX 980. So I'm a little bit older than yours. I mean, it runs my Oculus games just fine. It runs Steam VR just fine. What am I giving the Steam Deck a shot? But I think it will flop. Steam Machine 2.0. Reggie isn't Nintendo. He was just a mouthpiece for the higher up from Japan. Don't form a parasocial relationship with the corporate exec. Oh, wait. Read it again? Wait, hold on. Oh, I thought you said you had one. Get a GTX 1650. It's cheap, but it works wonders. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying you had one. How much is a GTX? I was looking at graphics cards the other day because I'm a glutton for punishment. 1650. I mean, it's still out of my price range. I hate to say it. The reality is I just don't have a price range right now. I just don't have the ability to buy anything right now. You know what's interesting is that I'm looking at this right now, right? MSI Gaming GeForce GTX 1650, 128-bit HDMI DP DVI, 4 gigs of it's GDDR6. I was going to say my graphics card has 4 gigs of RAM, but I think it's DDR5. I think it's GDDR5. Steam Deck supports USB-C hubs, so you can put an HDMI cable into it. Well, I have Oculus. I have the Oculus Quest 2. So when I hook to my PC, it's through AirLink. I do have the cable, but I don't use it. I just use the AirLink. Just want to point out a Split Pad Pro makes handheld mode much more comfortable. Phil is a gamer. He also isn't exclusive himself. He worked for Sony and Microsoft and has a good record for terrible launches: PS3, Xbox One, and Stadia. I think the issue with Steam Deck versus PC is that I can use my PC for other stuff. Steam Deck is basically a portable gaming PC, but you can't use it like a PC. Not yet, anyway. Someone's gonna make a browser for it, and it's gonna take off. The Steam Deck functions as a kickstand and can be used in docked mode on a TV. So I'm so hesitant on it. I want to see how it does because it'll allow me to take my PC library to my girlfriend's house without lugging a full tower to her. Yeah, it's kind of tricky because I don't know. And again, I just don't game on PC a lot. I don't do a lot of PC gaming. And if I do game on PC, it's probably going to be like retro emulators and stuff. Really, I can put that on my phone. Yeah, I saw that one. I like that one. Oh my god. I'm gonna leave that one open so I can read that later. I have nothing left except Spider-Man. and the Steam Deck is gonna be like a lot of money, right? Isn't the Steam Deck gonna be a bunch of money? There's some great games. Give me some good PC exclusive games. Give me some good games on PC that I can't get anywhere else. I feel like there are a lot, obviously, but I'm just not exposed to them that much. It's going to be pretty pricey. Yeah. As bad as it sounds, if I was going to drop that much money on something, I would buy a better graphics card for I'd probably just buy a better PC. Like, I'd probably just build a better PC if I'm talking. Because what's the Steam Deck? Horny Wars, maybe. Oh, yeah, I guess I could get that on Steam. WoW, StarCraft. Yeah, WoW. God, I miss WoW sometimes, man. I really do. I've said that before, but I really miss WoW sometimes. Yeah, I honestly don't know what's PC exclusive anymore. Checking my Steam library. Hentai games. The end. Yeah, Heath, I accidentally discovered the wealth of adult-oriented games on Steam when I got my Oculus. I loaded up Steam VR and I was checking out some things, and I downloaded this game. It looked like an anime sci-fi booby game, right? So the trailer I saw was like the characters are running around, and they've got the big jiggly boobs, but it looked like a sci-fi adventure. So I was like, all right, there's a demo for it. I'll check it out. When I load up the demo, it's just a sex simulator. It's just like a porn simulator, and a weird one at that. And then I was talking about it here before, and someone's like, I know what game, because I won't say the name of the game because it was that weird that I won't say it. And someone said, I know what game you're talking about. You should have known it was porn from the trailers. And I said, like, I watched the trailer and it didn't have anything like that. It just had big jiggly boobs. And they're like, yeah, there's 2 other trailers on there. I'm like, oh. And then I looked later. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I really should have known. Yeah, this is just a straight up sex simulator. The game itself, yeah. How was I supposed to know? It was called Horny Space Babes. Have you heard the rising rumors that Square may be being Pixel Remaster, bringing Pixel Remaster to Switch? We all kind of expected that was going to be the case after 6 came out. We all kind of expected that was going to be the case. That after Pixel Remaster 6 came out, they were going to all of a sudden, we've. I think John said it in his video, like, we've listened to the fans, we're bringing it to the consoles. What is the name? Asking for a friend. Yeah, it's somber. I saw the jiggle boobies, and then I saw the sci-fi setting, and I'm like, okay, a cool sci-fi action game. You know, got a little jiggle, little boob jiggle. Nothing wrong with that. I've played Dead or Alive. I know that it's possible to get some jiggly boobs and still have a fun game to play. So I figured, why not? When you load up the demo, there's no game. When I loaded up the demo and I started out and I heard something and I looked over and there's no game. It literally is just a sex simulator. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's not what I was expecting. Also, the Steam Deck doesn't come with the dock. That's a separate purchase. Steam Deck costs $400 for the lowest end model and $700 for the highest. So even if the Pixel remasters don't come to Switch, I'll be able to play it on the deck and emulate it on Switch too. It's and the best part, the game is forever on your play history now. No, Lilac, I'll admit, I removed it from my library and I removed it from my search history. I was like, okay, no, wow, yikes. And then I bought it. No, it was a demo. The game wasn't out yet. God, I want to tell you the game so that you can see the trailer for yourself and see that I had no idea what it was. I want to say it, but I don't want to be the one responsible for pointing you in the direction of a... Let me put it this way. I'll put it this way. When I started it up, there was a sex scene happening. Only one of the two people was human. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. Only one of the two characters was human. That's why it was like, oh, come on. It couldn't even be two people. I'm going to go get VR for science. I get Halo Master Chief Collection, Ballistic, NG. Most of the Trackmania games, Halo Infinite, most of the games I have. I do have, you're right, I do have Halo Infinite. I haven't even played it. I have a Halo Infinite and haven't even touched it. Yeah, it's the internet. We already know what porn is. I swear I didn't know it was porn. It says the man holding hardcore prawn. I think Greg just sold a lot of people on VR. Was the other was a human. The other was a human, but the one was not. It was not. Look, now I'm curious. I don't want to be the one to point you in this direction. I really don't. So I mean, it should be easy to just search for yourself. The game is not. Here's what I'll tell you. The game that I'm talking about is not out yet, but there's a demo for it. That's what I can tell you. The lowest price of Steam Deck is £350, and it comes with a 64 gig memory card. You need to spend another $100 to get an SSD and enough room for more than one AAA game. My graphics card won't be able to run Halo Infinite. Will it not? What's the minimum? What's the minimum now? Oh, now I'm curious. Minimum specs Halo Infinite. Nint. The bare minimum, which can be achieved by using a GTX 1050 Ti. Wow, yeah, technically. Well, okay, so wait, it's all right, so this is confusing. Halo Infinite gives you 4 different graphics requirements ranging from the bare minimum, which can be achieved using a GTX 1050 Ti or a Radeon RX 570 with around 4 gigs of VRAM. I have a GTX 980, but I've heard that the GTX 980 is comparable to the RX 580. So I don't know if that is right. I don't know what of those is right or not, because if it's comparable to the 580, my 980 should be a little bit above minimum. I feel like I should just try it one day. You're really out there being that cool uncle. Yeah, I'm not trying to be that uncle. You can tell someone in Discord and they can tell us for science. Halo Infinite hurts. I have an RTX 2070 Super and it can chug. Oh no, now I'm afraid. Why do companies think 64 gigs is enough memory for today's standards? It's definitely not. It can't be that hard. Stop bouncing around the name. Just let it all flop out and relieve yourself. My God. Do you want me to say what the name of the game was? Do you really want me to say what the name of this game? I don't want to even have to search for this game again. I've got a lot of naming to explain to you later in Discord. No, I just wanted to make sex puns. Yeah, I'm not going to say the name of the game. You can search for it yourself. Have fun. But yeah, Microsoft buying Activision, circle back to that. Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard is outside of the controversial stuff that's going on. It could be an interesting move. One thing that gets on my nerves when this stuff happens, I hate seeing the word monopoly. I hate when people are talking about that. They have these pictures of Microsoft and then all of the companies that belong with them, and they're like, oh, isn't this some sort of a monopoly? You literally have no idea what a monopoly is. Unless they're buying Nintendo and Sony and every other game company, you don't know what a monopoly is. It's not a monopoly. It's a lot of companies under one umbrella. But we're going to see a lot of different stuff. It's not a monopoly. It's not. By definition, it's not a monopoly. It's a triopoly at best. At this point, at best, it's a triopoly. Nintendo is still too much of a juggernaut in the gaming space. Sony has absolutely made a powerful gaming name for themselves. It's not a monopoly. Microsoft is now the third biggest revenue in media, besides Disney, I think, are first, and Sony are still second. Yeah, corporate consolidation is still a bad thing. It is. It is a bad thing, or it can be a bad thing. I don't know. I guess it's a matter of. I think it's really like a matter of the company. You know, if Microsoft owns all of these things now, that sounds really bad. But what if Microsoft is a really good company? What if Microsoft gives them a lot of autonomy, lets them make a lot of different kinds of games on a lot of different systems? You know, they don't remain 100% exclusive. A lot of it is about the company. If Microsoft owns everything but they allow autonomy and they allow these companies to flourish within under their umbrella, isn't that a good thing? Yeah, Microsoft buys out Sony, then we start talking about monopolies. Now we're moving into monopoly territory. Ironically, I kind of want them to put out a Monopoly game just to see how well it works. Honestly, if how much Blizzard has hurt their own brand, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft has dropped it. No, they definitely won't drop the Blizzard name. They definitely won't drop the Blizzard name. No, that's too big of a name. It's too big of a name. It's worth it for them to hang on to that name and turn it into something better. I don't think they'll drop that name. Or Take-Two. What's going on, Mindless? Let Toys for Bob make Spyro 4. I feel like Sony would aim itself towards purchasing Japanese studios. However, Sony would make those games exclusive. There was a Monopoly game by Ubisoft. Normally Microsoft buys a bunch of companies and wastes them. ActBlizz is good enough on its own for them to just leave it alone. Yeah, at this point, they're just going to say, here, let's manage everything. Let's make sure that the management is good. And then you just do what you've been doing. It's been working. You're proposing a benign dictatorship, which seems fine until they stop being benign. Yes, but what if they never stop being benign? It's what if they are? I've always had that idea before. What if I became a conqueror, and I marched my army into countries and started conquering countries, but I'm like a good leader? What if I conquer countries And you know what I mean? I go in there and I declare myself dictator, right? I am the one in charge here. But over the course of like 2 years, I do all good things. What if I go in and I end poverty and I turn the economy around and I make sure people are educated and everybody has meals and you know, I reduce crime? Like, what if I do all of that? Am I still the villain? Am I still the bad guy for conquering this country? Or am I now the hero because I went in and I did all of this great stuff? So it's a sort of weird thing. For the war chest, thank you, Ubiquitous. I appreciate that. Thank you for, you know what, Hugh? I'm gonna tell you what that's going towards. That's gonna stay in the bank. That's gonna go towards my graphics card, so that when I upgrade my graphics card, we can play some Zenith on stream because I'm excited to play that game. A good dictator, Uncle for Dictator 2022. Do you think it might be possible that Sony purchases Square Enix? Square Enix does like money. I could see it. I don't know that I'd want them to. I think I'd want Square Enix to be individual. I could see Sony trying. But I don't think Square would do it. I feel this debate loses the forest for the trees. History will declare who the hero is. I think you're confusing dictator with tyrant. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I guess so. There's a character in the Order of the Stick webcomics who's a good dictator like you described. Does Sony want to do with... Yeah, if Sony tries to buy Square, they're going to offer them NFTs. All they have to do is offer them NFTs. I trust Microsoft more than Sony. Based on how they are running Bethesda, Microsoft basically bought them out of their Spyro after Fallout 76. But other than the statement of MS exclusivity, which will probably be more timed, Microsoft has been hands off and let them to their own devices. Just watching in case just as they start going south. Yeah, so this is probably what they're going to do with Activision Blizzard. They're going to tell them, look, you've been, as management behind the scenes, there have been some problems and we need to fix that. But as far as running games and keep doing what you're doing. Infinite runs better on AMD GPUs. That's what I have. You mean for GPUs? I was gonna say I have an AMD CPU. Than NVIDIA because they did a lot of optimizations under the hood for AMD due to the Xbox also running AMD. Yeah, I mean I need a better graphics card anyway because I have a GTX 980. What is that? GDDR5. It might even be 4, right? GTX 980 specs. MSI. I have an MSI card. You gonna load up there? There we go. Hang on. Hey, there goes my graphics card. GDDR5. Yeah, GDDR5. Takes 2 8-pin. My graphics card.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Spring Pisces 6. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. My graphics card takes 2 8-pin connectors. Isn't that crazy? It uses so much power. This says GDDR5. Right? GTX 980. EVGA, MSI. MSI. Specs. Hold on. I'm looking at it right now. No. Specs. MSI, GTX, 980. Hold on. Yeah, that's definitely my card. Yeah, this says GDDR5. Okay. There we go. My concern after having this done to them twice, Sony may feel, especially as they now focus most Western, they need to do something. Square would need to want to be bought. Yeah, there's no hint that they want to. Plus, I think Japanese regulators aren't as liberal in allowing big mergers. Why I said, if I remember correctly. Yeah. It is 5. I thought it was 4 also. It's so old. I thought it was 4. Honest, the next big viable company isn't Square, it would be Ubisoft, who are already struggling to avoid buyouts. You're kind of right there. I think Ubisoft could be the next. If anybody big is going to be next, it could be Ubisoft. What do we think about Konami? You think Konami is at any danger? Do you think there's any point where somebody buy? I mean, do they even? Is that even still a company? I half the time I don't even know. I feel like Konami is ripe for purchase. Who buys Konami? Nintendo? I think Nintendo buys them. They're the kings of the casino market. Money. Konami is decently successful outside of games, supposedly. I think Sony keeps trying to buy Konami. Oh, okay. I feel like Sega would buy Konami with their history with slots. That'd be an interesting purchase. That would be really interesting. Take their library of IPs and chuck the rest. Now, what do you think about buying Konami's IPs? Leaving the company and just buying IPs from them. I think I'd be down with that. That'd be kind of interesting. Thing is, you would think Konami would have sold by now, but they haven't. Yeah, I'm a little surprised they haven't just sold IPs. That would be kind of interesting. I'd be curious to see what they do with that. Okay. Sony gets MSG and MG at MSG and Silent Hill. That's not bad. I feel like you would have to break them up. I think that selling their IPs would be a better move for them. Silent